Jonah stood on the wooden deck, his eyes fixed on the vanishing horizon. He was a man on the run, fleeing toward Tarshish to escape a voice he could not ignore. The sea seemed calm at first, the wind whispering through the sails. He thought he had found safety in the distance, leaving his heavy burden behind. But the ocean holds its breath before a strike, and the sky began to bruise with an unnatural shadow. Suddenly, the heavens turned ink black. A violent wind slammed into the vessel, snapping the massive mast like a dry twig. Sailors scrambled in terror, throwing precious cargo into the hungry waves, but the ship groaned under the crushing weight of the sea. Jonah retreated to the dark hold, curling into a corner as the hull began to splinter. The captain found him there, shaking him awake. "How can you sleep?" he shouted over the roar. Jonah looked at the terrified crew and finally spoke. "Throw me into the sea, and the storm will cease." With trembling hands and heavy hearts, the sailors lifted Jonah and cast him into the churning abyss. The moment he hit the water, the storm vanished into a haunting silence. As Jonah sank into the freezing depths, the cold water filled his lungs, and the light of the world faded. Just as his consciousness began to slip away, a massive shadow eclipsed the pale glow from above. A creature of impossible scale surged upward. Its jaws opened like a dark, wet cavern, swallowing him whole. He was gone, taken by the deep into a tomb of flesh and salt. Inside the belly of the fish, the air was thick and stagnant. Jonah fell to his knees in the absolute darkness, his hands pressing against the slimy, rhythmic walls of his living prison. In this suffocating silence, there was nowhere left to run. He prayed, crying out to God for mercy from the depths of the grave. 3 days and 3 nights passed in a timeless void. His spirit was broken, his pride stripped away, as he waited in the belly of the beast for a sign of life or the finality of death. On the 3rd day, the great fish surged toward the shallows. With a violent heave, it vomited Jonah onto the dry sand. Gasping for air, his skin pale and covered in brine, Jonah stood up. He shook the sand from his clothes and looked toward the distant gates of Nineveh. This time, his steps were steady, carrying the message he had once tried to outrun.